We got a gold mine. We got a gold mine. We got a gold mine!
Gold. We dig up spaces larger than some cities in search of it, and it turns us into wild animals, fighting bare-fisted over the smallest of nuggets. We know that it holds immense value today, but how much exactly? In 20 years, could our gold earrings be worth thousands? Millions? Why are we so obsessed with it in the first place? Time to find out. Okay folks, if the numbers keep trending upward and gold rises another $450 or so bucks per ounce in the next few years like it has since the start of 2016, edging close to that magical $2,000 mark, then we could be absolutely rolling in the cash. Today we coat our fancy cars with it, dangle it from our bodies, glue it onto our teeth, and even strut around in gold-trimmed suits. But why and how does it all work? What's the big deal about this metal in the first place? Well, it's not just because it's all pretty and shiny. It's actually one of the few elements on the periodic table. Wait, yeah, that's the one. Au, sandwiched in between platinum and mercury, that is resistant to most acids, resistant to corrosion and other chemical reactions, while also being an impressive conductor of electricity. Aside from its elegant shimmer, one of gold's major selling points is that it's one of, if not the most malleable metal of them all. By malleable, we mean that it can be stretched, twisted, slapped, and shrunk into all kinds of shapes and sizes when exposed to its melting temperature of 1,943 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 1,064 degrees Celsius. Combine all of this with the fact that it's a very rare substance that's relatively hard to come by, unless that is you stumble across some buried pirate loot, and well, that's your bottom line. Okay, so it has unique qualities, big whoop, that we know, but how much is it actually worth? Well, right now, over 1,500 smackaroonies per ounce. Hold up though, let's rewind a bit. We say right now because the kicker is that the value of gold is always changing. It's a finite metal. It doesn't just grow on trees, so there's a high reliance on the supply and demand model. In easy to understand terms, imagine what would happen if there was only one Big Mac left on the entire planet. Its value would skyrocket because everybody would want it. Still with us? Cool. Yeah, so right now the price of gold is hovering around 1,509 USD per ounce, equivalent to about $48 per gram and $48,000 per kilo. Damn. The market price for gold has been free to fluctuate willy-nilly for close to the last 50 years, so it could grow as high or shrink as low as it darn well pleased. That market freedom to fluctuate means that in 20 years from now, well, you could be sailing on a private yacht in the Caribbean if the gold prices continue to flourish. That freedom to grow in value wasn't always an option though. In fact, prior to 1973, the US government actually implemented set gold prices. And while the specific price did change 4 times, it remained controlled since 1792. It was a similar case across the pond when Sir Isaac Newton set a standard gold price for the UK in 1717 as well. So as you can see, digging for gold isn't a new idea by any means. We've had a number of gold rushes over the past few centuries where eager diggers flocked to certain areas of the world in the hopes of uncovering a nugget or two and turning their lives around. Let's compare today's $1,509 USD per ounce to that of the 1850s. The price back then? A tad under $19 per ounce. Hold your horses, people, because that's not accounting for the beast that is inflation. With inflation considered, an ounce-sized nugget jumping in a time machine to the modern era would be worth, in today's numbers, around $625. So, as you can see, it's grown in value thanks to both inflation as well as specific economic factors. $625 was a massive amount of money back in the day, so it makes sense why people flocked from left, right, and center to dig for gold. And we're not talking about just a handful of people, no. We mean like a whole army's worth of money-hungry lower and middle class, tantalized by the thought of getting hella rich hella quick. 300,000 people ventured over to California between 1848 and 1855. 100,000 or so prospectors made the long journey up the Klondike region of the Yukon in northwestern Canada between 1896 and 1899, and there have also been gold rushes in Australia, Argentina, South Africa, Brazil, and plenty of spots in between. And it goes much further back than that too. In fact, gold is even mentioned frequently in the Old Testament. It was worth a huge amount back in the day, and it's worth even more now, but most importantly, how much could gold actually be worth in the future? Is buying a few golden bricks a solid investment? Should we douse ourselves in golden body paint? Or is the bubble about to pop? Could we all be filthy rich in no time? The short answer is, hell yeah we could, but there's a risk of course. Okay, so there's two sides to the story about where the value of gold is headed. Some peeps think that gold is going downhill and that its only real purpose these days is being molded into fancy jewelry worn by rappers and royals. On the other end of the spectrum, those who are generally a little more educated on the topic think that gold is an asset with various intrinsic qualities that make it a unique investment that's well worth holding on to. Don't worry folks, gold still carries a huge amount of significance in today's society. Investors actually typically look at gold as a safe haven investment during times of political and economic uncertainty. So if you've got some gold hidden under the mattress, keep it there. What they're saying is that while the financial sector goes through its chaotic routine, gold slowly goes about its business without a worry in the world. Look at any of the graphs put out there by financial analysts and you'll see that here in 2019, gold prices have been rising. In fact, ever since the financial crisis around 2008, they've mostly been going up and up and up again. According to Bullion Vault, many private investors perceive that the metal actually has much further to grow, thanks to being driven firstly by geopolitical factors, and secondly by central bank policy. If you don't know what central bank policy has to do with it, fear not. Here's the gist. The banks own about 1/5 of all the above ground gold, meaning that whatever they do affects the price of our favorite shiny metal. Still following? Fabulous. If you need some more reassurance, check out what Vanity Fair's financial expert Matthew Hart had to say about it all. An ounce of gold cost $271 in 2001. 10 years later, it reached $1,896, an increase of almost 700%. On the way, it passed through some of the stormiest periods of recent history, when banks collapsed and currencies shivered. To translate that into normal people speak, gold has gone through a heck of a lot and has come out flourishing on the other side, so all signs point up from here. You know who's obsessed with gold? The Dubai royal family. Check it out! Matthew McConaughey might also be captivated by the stuff, but gold isn't the only mineral worth investing in. Ever heard of palladium? Well, along with the likes of gold, silver, and platinum, palladium is one of the precious metals openly traded. Technically, palladium is more valuable than gold, as it is rarer. However, its price is roughly similar, thanks to gold's recent ascent up the money tree. Oh, and then there's silver, but seriously, who takes pride in a silver medal? Exactly. Anyway, if buying gold for yourself is too mainstream, then you could always head on over to China and try digging it up for yourself with your dollar store pickaxe. Why China? Well, because as of 2017, China was the world's leading gold mining country. Next up was Australia, Russia, America, Canada, Peru, and South Africa, in case you were wondering. Okay gang, so the dealio is that while we can never totally predict how much our shiny jewelry is going to be worth in 50 or so years, most people say with plenty of confidence, hell yeah, gold will still be valuable in half a century. And here's why. While the purchasing power of gold remains relatively the same as time flies by, the purchasing power of currencies like the US dollar becomes susceptible to inflation and becomes, in official financial terms, pretty darn useless in comparison. So if you could take $1 million in cash or $1 million in gold right here, right now, all signs point to gold being the better option. If trends continue, your 24-karat gold earrings could be worth well into the thousands. That's all the gold we've got for today. Are you thinking about buying some, or do you have some already? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to The Richest, and join our notification squad. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.